Thunder hitting the road here in Memphis for Game 3 of this first-round series in the Western Conference playoffs. I've got Alex Caruso here alongside me. And AC, this is a wonderful opportunity for you all here on the road. Also one for the Grizzlies, who certainly have their back against the wall a little bit here, coming back home 0-2. You guys all season long have had a great understanding of your opponent. What's key here is the series flips to a road series for you all now.
Yeah, take care of business as the home seed, win 2 games. About protecting home court, and we did that. But now, obviously, the challenge is come in here and win the game. And they're obviously, they're going to be back home after being on the road for a long time from the play-in to our place. So they'll be juiced. They'll have some more energy and probably play a little faster tonight. But, for us, it's just turning the same recipe over. Doing the things that we've done great the first 2 games and come in here with a tough mindset and attitude. Yeah,
that recipe on defense has just been swarming, physicality, aggressiveness, ball pressure. As you look at the tape, what are you seeing on film from this group as just the ability to carry over from the regular season to the playoffs? Because sometimes that doesn't always translate one-to-one the way that you all have been able to make it happen. You're making plays on the ball just right, exactly. I think you're averaging like 5 a game here in the playoffs so far.
Yeah, I think the things we're doing well are just the things that we've been practicing all year. We have great instincts as individuals, and then collectively we've been able to build that through the season. And playoffs is the time where your defense really shines, physicality really shines. So just being able to implement that in the game, and I think working on that throughout the year, has benefited us.
Yeah, your guards just obviously really harrying these guys at the point of attack. Tell me about what the work of the bigs has done for you all on the backside of the defense to be able to corral any of that downhill momentum, because they're the top driving team in the league.
Yeah, part of our defensive success is, we got gangbusters on the outside, guys that can just get after the ball and speed people up, and then, we got 3 great rim protectors in our bigs, and all kind of a different style. Hart's a little more physical, and the big down there. Chet obviously is blocking shots, and then Jay Will, great communicator, rebounder, a couple blocks, and then taking charges. So just to be able to have, the ability to pressure and send them into great defenders as well it's a really big plus for us.
You mentioned before the playoffs even began that playoff basketball is basically boiled down to how you handle adversity. You're bound to experience some here when you're on the road in Memphis. What have you liked best about the way that you all have attacked that all season and embraced it to some degree, and what you'll need to show tonight?
Yeah, I think just expecting it. When you go in with the mindset that at some point something will go wrong, whenever that happens, it doesn't seem like it's the end of the world. It doesn't seem like it's the avalanche and the snowball rolling down the hill. It's kind of just something like, you can turn into a bump in the road and get back on track with what you're trying to do. So just coming in with the mindset that we know it's going to be tough, we know something at some point isn't going to go in our favor, and just having that preparation and the ability to compete through that, I think will really help us.
Last thing I want to touch on with you is just the offense. You guys seem to have gotten everybody into a rhythm over the course of the season, and everybody's been kind of able to hit the ground running here in the postseason. Game 1, you don't even take a shot. Game 2, 13 points. And it just seems like you can look up and down the roster, and no matter what the volume is for guys, it's not like anybody's catching the ball cold.
Yeah, one of the great things about this team is we've talked about all year is we have so many great players, and any given night pretty much what Shay's going to do, what J-Dub's going to do, and Chet too. The other guys is where we get 2 or 3 of our role players that find a rhythm, and part of that attack is just not knowing who it's going to be. So it's almost hard to scout because we just kind of play off of the game. Whatever the game takes us or tells us to do and kind of presents itself is what we do. Like Wiggs came in and hit 3 threes to start the game in the first game. And then the last game, it was me. I got a bunch of shots and opportunities. So just staying ready and being prepared whenever the ball finds you, I think, is one of the things that we've done all year and we continue to do now.
There's an incredible malleability, versatility to this team. They've shown it through 2 games. Good luck here in Game 3.
Appreciate it, Nick.
All right, that's Alex Caruso. I'm Nick Gallo, and this is Thunder Basketball.
Chet, you guys have had such a focused approach throughout the course of this series. You're now in Memphis, in their environment. Just what's key mentally for you guys in this matchup tonight?
Focusing on the things that we control. When you come on the road against a good team, especially in the playoffs, can't control the crowd, can't control every situation out there, but we can focus on what we can control. That's what we try to do in shoot-around, work on what we need to work on to be ready for tonight, and then that'll put us in a good spot.
How do you, 2 years in, how do you gauge road environments in the playoffs? I know there are some people who say that the road advantage isn't what it used to be. Like, do you feel that way? How do you sort of gauge road environments in the playoffs?
I mean, I wasn't around for the used to be part, so I have no idea how to compare them. You can ask my man right here what it used to be like, but I have no idea. Every team, every city has a different crowd. I think we have the best in the league, and then some are better than others. We'll see what Memphis is like tonight, but I expect their crowd to be rowdy. They have a history and a reputation for really being into the games.
Chet, it's never easy, but you guys have made this series look easy through the first 2 games. How do you guys keep the intensity of it's still one game and we still haven't closed them out? It's not like this series is over just because you guys are up 2-0.
Just understanding that whatever happened, before, once you learn from it and you carry that into what you're doing next, it really doesn't matter. Whether you're up, down, tied, doesn't matter. We got to focus on tonight. We can't worry about, what's happened in the past.
Why have you guys had so much success with Ja and Jaren and Dez in this series? They've hit some shots, but you guys have really made it hard on their big 3.
I think you said it best, just trying to make it hard as possible, not only on them, but, their whole team. You don't want to give up anything easy, and I feel like we've done a good job of, keying into the game plan and really trying to make things tough. Obviously, they're good players. They've made plays, like you said, and they're going to continue to make plays. We just have to keep, making it as hard as we can.
Chet, speaking of those plays, 5 block shots, what are you seeing while your presence has been so with the shot blocking?
Just making sure that, there's no hesitation on any of these plays. Just, if I see something, trying to go get it. Also understanding that, if I'm out of position and it's going to lead to a foul, maybe not get that one early, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to gauge every situation, read it as quick as possible, and then try to make a winning play. Some of them have resulted in blocks, some of them not, but even if I don't block the shot and I'm able to make them miss, or we're able to get the board and get out in transition, that's another win for us. So, just trying to be a presence at the rim, make things tough.
What do you guys have to lean on to win Game 3?
We have to lean on our identity, who we are, who we've been all year. We have to lean on each other, lean on the game plan, lean on what we're good at, and then, have a lot of energy and just play our game.
Speaking
about playing on the offensive end?
I feel like it's been every night's look different. Every time we play a new team, it's like a different kind of look, but for the most part, the mentality is just kind of think like, I'm not really playing the 4 in the traditional sense. I'm playing like basically a wing spot. We basically have whoever's handling. We have whoever's creating the action, usually the 5, whether it's me, Jay Will, Hart, K. Rich, or even sometimes we have guards who screen as well. So, and then the other 3 spots are basically wing spots. So just understanding that, knowing where to be, when to be there, and then just being confident and letting it fly.
Being in this building, Chet, how important are the first few minutes of this game, knowing that they're going to try to ride the energy of their crowd and kind of punch back in a series that you guys have kind of dominated that way?
Yeah, no 1 minute is more important than the next. All 48 minutes is going to be important tonight, not just the first 3. We understand that, and every minute has the same weight to it. So we got to come out ready to play and ready to punch from the beginning.
Chet, just listening to the way you talk, especially since being back from injury, it sounds like you'll say things like you feel like you're never going to be 100% or where you want to be. I just wonder what your idea of perfection is and how your idea of that has maybe changed since you've been in the league.
My idea of perfection, I guess perfection is something you strive for, knowing that you're never going to catch it. But hoping that gets you pretty far along the way.
Chet, last one. For the fast break points, you guys have outscored them 48-8 in the 2 games combined. How important is that going into Game 3, just knowing that obviously it's kind of like bulletin board material for them to kind of clean that up?
It's just as important as every other aspect of the game. No matter who you're playing, regular season, playoffs, doesn't matter. You have to get back on defense and play defense and make things tough. Can't give up easy ones, leak outs, numbers advantage, stuff like that. And we've done a pretty good job of that so far. We also understand that they have good players with a lot of speed who can get up the floor, so we can't lose that as the series goes on. We just have to keep trying to be good there.
Thank you, Chet. Thanks, Chet. You guys have made this series look easy. While it's not, we know that. But how do you guys make sure you don't settle with complacency, that it has been so easy, and kind of keep the hammer down as you get ready for tonight?
I think that's just a battle we've been getting ready for all season. Obviously, we had a high-win season, but we knew during that stretch is like we can't get complacent with any of these games. We understand what's at stake. We understand the weight of every challenge. And so I think that just helped build our muscle for whenever we come to the postseason. We don't get complacent here either.
I'd say you guys have done such a good job of turning them over, but also taking care of the ball really well yourselves. What's led to such sharp decision-making for you guys over these first couple of games?
First off, we just have a great group of guys. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. We've never really been a high turnover team, but we force turnovers. We play hard on defense, and then we share the rock. I think we just play the right way. I think it just helps, everything that we do.
I say you guys have had success in a lot of different ways on offense, but one of them seems like when in certain matchups when Shea posts up, they're having a rush, a double over. What have you liked best about the way you guys have played out of those doubles and gotten good looks out of it?
First and foremost, I think Shea's just doing a really good job of managing, reading the defense, taking what they give him. If they don't send a trap, then he's on the island by himself, and that's what he dreams of. So, and then when they do send one, I think guys are doing a really good job spacing, cutting, and he's making the right play.
Isaiah, I want to read you this quote from Hardenstein. He said, he's talking about the defense. He said, "I don't think you have any weak links. Even a guy like Isaiah, he's been amazing keeping guys in front of him. If your shooter's even playing that well, it's pretty impressive." What's sort of helped you match the effort of a lot of these all-defense guys and try to blend into a defense of this caliber?
Yeah, that's something that I've always taken pride in. We got a team where there are no weak links, and so when you're out there on the court, I can't be the weak link. So just buckling down on my defender, trying to be in the right spots at all the right times, communicating, just bringing the fight to them. I think I got an aggressive mentality on the defensive end. I don't shy from any challenge, so just staying that way and being disciplined.
And obviously, the early part of your career, you have been known for being a marksman, being a shooter. Do you sense a point where you became known or have become known for being more than that, or a point where you tried to become more than that?
I'm just sticking to what I do best. Obviously, trying to expand my game any way that I can. But I know my job, my role out here, and that's to knock down, take and make shots. So that marksman thing is kind of something that's gonna stick for hopefully the eternity of my career. But what other people think, if they think that I'm more than that, that's on them. But I know what I am and I know what I can do.
Do you feel the attention of your teammates going to you whenever there's a open floor or a scramble possession? It just seems like anytime it's a fast break, anytime it's a second chance and the floor is mixed up, whoever's got the ball is like, where's Isaiah Joe?
They do a good job. They do a good job of finding me when I'm out there. I try to stay as active as I can, try to make myself presentable. They know that whenever there is a scramble and there's an open guy, if I'm that open guy, to probably make that pass. But that's something that I've always try to do. I just try to be presentable. They always do the right thing, whether they go score or find me. So.
In your mind, why have you guys been so successful on the road this season, and how will that help tonight against the rowdy crowd?
I think we bring our own energy, and we're disciplined, even though we don't have our crowd, our people. We know what's at stake at the end of the day. Once we cross those lines, it's a basketball game. No matter what's on the outside, we know what we're here to do.
Anybody else?
Thanks, Zach.
Mark, after game 2, you'd mentioned the pure volume of shots between Morant, Bane, Jackson Jr. I think it was 59. What stood out to you about the way that those guys manufactured those shots? Did you like that they were harried or pressured, or did you feel like there's opportunities for you all to either eliminate some of the volume or force them to be more difficult?
I just thought I mentioned it more as insight into their team and how they'll play, coming out here, coming home. First play of the game, they run to try to get Bane a shot. Last game, first play of the game, they're running to get Jackson a shot. Coming out of timeouts, they're trying to get Morant downhill in space. And so I just think it's good insight for us, just understanding where they're going to go, and understanding that we want to make those guys earn everything. They're really good players, but we don't want to give them anything easy for sure, and continue to keep them, in as much duress as we possibly can.
Coach, what have you made of Kayson's aggressiveness? It's been low volume for him, but it feels like just really explosive plays that he's making.
Yeah, I mean, he's been really good. He only played 11 minutes. Him and Alex only played like 12 minutes in the first game, so it's good to get him out there for a sustained stretch. But, I mean, he continues to shoot the right shots, make the right plays, gets out in transition. That's something he's really improved on offensively. Still does all the system stuff really well. And defensively, he's been really good in this series, with Bane and Morant, 2 high-level perimeter players that we have to account for, and he helps us do that.
Coach, what's your expectation and your message to the team about this game tonight as they come home facing an 0-2 hole where it seems like everything has been going wrong? They're going to grab some energy from this crowd tonight. What have you told your team about what to expect?
Yeah, I said it after the game, and I said it to the team. It's, I think last week they lose to Golden State on the road. It's a tough loss. They come home with their back against the wall against Dallas, and they're just really, really fast to start that game especially, and understanding that's their identity as a team, and under pressure, that's what they're going to lean on. And we have to just understand it's going to be a live crowd. It's going to be an energized team. They're going to try to play really fast, especially early on, and we've got to be ready for that for us.
How have you taken them out of their game? They like to get in the open floor and run and transition. You actually flipped the switch on. You guys have done it all year, but you have stopped them from doing what they like to do.
I thought we got lucky in game one in some of them. There was a couple plays that they got some really good looks and just missed them. Some of it's our ball protection on offense. We've been able to keep our turnovers low and get quality shots. Even last game, we didn't shoot the ball great, but we got good shots. And, when you get good shots, first of all, it's a shot. And second of all, usually the floor is pretty balanced if the shot's good. So you can get back defensively and settle your defense. But it's easier said than done. And like I said, coming home, they're going to play with a lot of energy and a lot of speed tonight, and we have to be ready for that.
Mark, you played so well on the road all season long. How much will that help tonight?
I mean, it's a great environment. We can't wait to play in this environment. This is the best time of year for this reason, and it'll be a live crowd and an energized team, and it's a great challenge for us.
How does Hartenstein's floater impact your spacing?
It's we've had to figure it out. I think where it's really helpful is when he really lays a screen. That puts you behind the play, puts you behind the ball. There's somewhere he gets out fast and he speed rolls, and that's a different dilemma for the defense. But when he goes up and he really screens the contact, it puts him behind the play. Guard's kind of ahead of him, and it's like, where do what's he going to do from there? It's either you pop or you can get into that pocket. And so to be able to kind of explore the play, explore the rim, explore the weak side, have none of that, and then just drop it to him and have a highly efficient shot is a good thing.
Anybody else?
All right.
Thanks, guys.